Hi, I'm Deborahalicia. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're returning, thanks for the love. Today's topic is on muscle. Did you know that the word muscle and mouse are cousins? According to Etymon Online, it wasn't until 1850 that muscle meant strength and brawn. In the late 14th century, a muscle of the body literally meant a little mouse. Lizard was also used as a word for muscle in Middle English. So muscular was considered lizardly. Now it's important to remember that as within, so without. Physical muscle should be a manifestation of what is taking place within us. That is in regards to our spiritual mind. Muscle in and of itself is not a problem. What I'm hearing from my spirit team is that it is deemed lizardly because of the absence of spiritual aptitude. Hence the saying, all muscle and no brains. It is the problem that we witness amongst adults where the body has developed, but not the mind. It can be likened to giving your keys to a child, the keys to your car, that is. You wouldn't do that in wisdom because you know they're not equipped to operate that vehicle. So with a spirit-led mind, we know that muscle does not equate to strength. So why are we saying this? We are saying this because although women know a man can have muscle without insight, her actions speak otherwise. And since this is the case, men collectively have made muscle a priority. Regardless if he wants to admit it or not, she is his muse. If she prioritized spirit, wisdom will not only be upon her lips, but in her heart and in her actions. He will then relax in that. Relax meaning he is no longer working in the reverse. He can focus on what matters, and that is his mind. When the mind is directed by wisdom, it shows. The reason why men scream from the rooftops that they built the world is because they are not feeling the appreciation from the women collectively. The reason why women don't collectively appreciate what the men have built collectively is because these men's will have been empowered by karmic feminine energy. Even if the women are collectively unaware of this, her non-appreciation is proof of their lack of respect. The problem, however, is not the lack of respect, because honor belongs to wisdom. And if wisdom wasn't the means to the end, then so will the absence of honor be. Innately, she picks up on her influence through his complaining. But being outside of her divine nature, they string the men collectively along. This is the game that men have collectively picked up on, being the logical creatures that they are. And so was the patriarch born. However, it is still not the solution for empowerment that he desires to experience, and rightfully so. Hence, they're complaining despite their patriarchal influence. Wisdom doesn't belong to the woman. The moment that she falls out of alignment with wisdom, she is out of order. Hence the men's desire to replace her with technology, because he is innately aware of this disorder. This is why he keeps you out of his meetings, ladies. He honestly doesn't think that you are capable of leading. Women and men divinely complement each other. So much so that just with one being out of order, the whole union is affected. And in affecting that union, wisdom can't be received. So men, you can't fulfill your divine purpose without her. And she can't fulfill her divine purpose without you. You weren't wrong for seeing her disorder. You were wrong for believing in her disorder. You could take her seat. You know what I'm saying. Companies don't get rid of leadership just because they can't fill the position. Leadership positions were created with an operation in mind. An operation that is crucial to the company's profit. Giving that role to someone who is less qualified is like the position doesn't exist at all. Do you see that? Because the operation of those leadership positions are absolutely crucial to the company. Changing that would require a change in mission, which is exactly what we have witnessed on this physical plane. Mankind is convinced that evolution can take place with man or woman alone, and y'all are sadly mistaken. Again, wisdom doesn't belong to the woman. To receive wisdom requires alignment. Alignment can only take place when divine order is respected. Who will fix themselves to knowledge that they deem ignorant? Nobody. So it is important to understand what divine order is. First, divine order starts inside of us. More on this later. When this order exists within us, then it's inevitable. Inevitable meaning that it goes out of its way. You know, like when you go out of your way for her. Well, wisdom goes out of its way to show up for you. This is behind the pyramids that you study. I'm hearing the lyrics, I want to know what turns you on. Men, you don't want to know what turns a woman's body on. You want to know what turns on the wisdom to flow through her. It is this wisdom that you are built to hear, because when you hear it, it turns you on. It empowers you, and you know what empowerment is. Otherwise, you would have never kicked her out the club. In other words, when she is not in her divine nature, you don't want to hear what she has to say, because you know what she is sharing isn't wise. And you know that it isn't wise because you feel weak. Again, you are very logical creatures. True wisdom honors logic, but by way of the spirit. And when guided by that, the logic will be proven. The true reason will be proven. The heart will gain yet another experience with the divine, whereby reverence is gained, reverence is cultivated, because reliance on the spirit is proven beneficial. It isn't hard on the mind, and being easy on the mind reflects an emotion. I'm hearing the lyrics, easy like a Sunday morning. Why Sunday? Because that is the day that you have traditionally set aside for the spirit. You are open to the supernatural on Sunday. But this isn't the original intention of the spirit for you and for her. This can be every moment. And why not? You know it's true, because the opposite happens with what you don't want. What you don't want is very consistent. So much so, you have set up the world to work in your favor despite this. You believe it can't be changed. You believe that misfortune is inevitable as opposed to wisdom. Apart from wisdom, what shows up for you is misfortune, because you relied on someone outside of yourself for answers. Someone meaning the woman. It was never the woman, but the wisdom she carried. Why do you think you're so turned off by women who can't bear your children? As much as you may think your love for her will override that, it is your sole desire to have your seed carried forward. Be fruitful and multiply resonates with you now, doesn't it? This is exactly what happens with a woman within when that divine union is taking place within. She is giving birth to wisdom. And considering that it's an indication that her womb is ready, she is bound to attract a suitor who will activate her ability to manifest wisdom in the embodiment of a child. When our soul can have a human advent through a divine womb, its purpose is not stagnated with the need to overcome obstacles that our ancestors didn't. We get right to our purpose because we embody wisdom due to our mother's divine womb. Man tried to make sense of this through Christ consciousness. However, it starts in the womb, which is why the woman is a target. Innately, men know she is the beginning and have tried to emulate that divine womb through religious dogma, of course, surrounding virginity. Men, it's not enough for you to be the first to activate her. Her womb must be prepared for activation. Otherwise, you two are bringing a soul into a hellish experience. The body won't match the soul essence, which is pure. This has been majority of our experience on this planet now, hasn't it? This message is to direct our focus back to the truth, but to bring clarity to the mind. Now, if this resonates, please feel free to leave a comment below, and please feel free to share this video with those you love. I appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, peace.